Hey, and welcome to Certain Period. You already know who it is. It's Jay Wing.
It's J Kid.
It's Aryen.
It's Riley Chunk. Ryan Chunk, sorry.
And today we got a lot of different topics lined up, so let's just get started. First of all, Thanksgiving break just came and went.
It was so short.
It was
honestly
super short. Did you do anything over break? You went snowboarding, right?
I went snowboarding. Yeah. I went to Utah, Bryan Head, and I learned how to snowboard. It was really hard, but in the end, it paid off.
Wait, what exactly? Because this was your first time,
So it was a 2-day lesson, and then the first day I was just falling over and bruising myself and getting hurt. And the second day I went on the lift and I came down. It was like so cool.
Wait, what about your family?
My brother learned with me, and then my dad went on one day, and my mom was just taking pictures.
Well, the first day for anyone like snowboarding or skiing, you're gonna fall. I remember my first day. I was just like, my butt was sore by the end of the day.
Literally, it wasn't even my first day, but like a few times after I started snowboarding, I was like going down the slope and I was like, I should go really fast, but I couldn't control my speed, and so I ended up like falling on my back, and it was the first time the wind got knocked out of me.
Oh God.
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah,
bro.
that hurts.
And I was like, I couldn't breathe.
Wait, I've always wanted to snowboard and ski, but like my parents would never let me. Or actually, they would let me, but they would send me alone. So like. The reason
they
why
send you alone?
No, they were going to, but I said no.
Oh.
But it's because my dad,
he broke his legs, right?
He was skiing, and then so he doesn't know how to brake, and then during his
you go pizza.
Yeah, you gotta go pizza.
He doesn't know that, so during his first lesson, I think.
Gosh.
He went splits.
Oh gosh.
And then broke his legs.
Wait,
He broke his own leg.
I think he broke something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and Bryan Head's really nice. I've been there like twice.
I've never been to Bryan
It's
Head
really
before.
high in the mountains. I got altitude sickness the first time.
Yeah, me too. And then
it's really nice. Like it's very quiet, very isolated.
after every day, I came back sore and I just couldn't move in my bed. But it was worth it.
But it's really like you're like spending time in nature, and in Miss Park's class we learned about transcendentalism, and it was really nice.
I mean, it's a good way for you guys to get us to get outdoors, spend a little time outside the house.
I went snowboarding. Did you guys do anything else?
I just stayed home and like studied a little bit and ate food.
Studied?
Well, I didn't
Don't
really
lie.
study. I just kind of did the homework and just got ready for end of semester.
Play games?
I didn't do anything. I don't know what I did.
I went to Yosemite over break. It was really nice. Yosemite's like very. We thought it was gonna snow, but it just rained, and that was a little unfortunate because it made the hikes very slippery.
Wait, what about the potato chip? What is that?
What?
The what?
Sorry, what?
The potato chip.
What potato
on
chip?
your Snapchat. That.
What are you talking
No,
about?
that's in San Diego.
That's something else,
different.
dude.
Something in Justin's.
Yeah,
Snap
but I
story.
feel like when we went, instead of doing all the strenuous hikes and stuff, because we've been here this is our 10th time. I think it's like a Thanksgiving tradition to just go to Yosemite, and so we just
That's good.
kicked back, did the easy hikes and really just spent time with each other for Thanksgiving.
Do you recommend it for a winter break vacation or no?
If you like snow and stuff,
But do you think it was like a better
do you think it's
weather?
something my family could do? Because we don't snowboard or any skiing.
Oh yeah, you don't go snowboard, but it's like mainly there for like nature, like enjoyment, because you're like in the mountains. It's like a valley with like deep mountains on each side, and you're just like you're there. They have hikes, whatever. It's just like I guess it's like relaxing, or you could do like the hard hikes,
just like
just
de-stress.
Yeah, and if you haven't been, I recommend.
Did they have like cabins, or did you stay in a tent?
There's cabins and like lodges and stuff. Or you could camp, but it was raining really hard at night, and we felt bad for the people who were camping. It was really cold too.
So I hope you guys all on Thanksgiving break took some time, de-stressed, and got your bearings
and sleep.
But now we're on the finish line to first semester, and finals are happening in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. But moving on to some news, some types of news. The wildfires in California, although they've been going on for a while, they're still not out all the way, are they?
They actually are. They're 100% contained.
They're contained. Okay.
Yeah. And plus, the all the rain that happened today.
Yeah.
I think it might have helped a little bit, but with that, there also came flash flooding in North California. So, right after the fire, now there's flash flooding, and now they have to rescue all these motorists that are trapped and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of ways that people have been aiding in the to the victims of the fires. They've been donating a lot of money, and actually a really interesting way that people have been donating is that on art.com, which is a California-based website. there's a portrait called it's called California Rising, and it's like a dedicated to the California wildfires and the victims, and it's like $40, and all the proceeds go to the wildfire
Like
victims.
giving them supplies.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can aid.
Yeah,
Still,
so you can, when you aid, you'll be helping out. Like the wildfire actually killed 88 people and it destroyed 14,000 homes. So whatever, like when you donate, it'll go to the proceeds. Like
yeah,
it'll go
it
to
sounds
there.
devastating. But yeah, the wildfires, they're contained, but they were really disastrous.
Yeah, like
And
what happens when you like lose your home? Like where do you go? Like what if you don't have family or friends you can?
And it's
like, live
it's
in
so
their house?
spontaneous too, because there's like, you don't really know. It's like it's so fast. You gotta get yourself in.
You're
you
just
gotta
living,
leave,
and
yeah.
then your home's gone. Everything's
No,
Right,
like,
yeah.
actually, I have a friend at Pepperdine, and what
Pepperdine
happened?
University?
Yeah, well, Pepperdine University, right in Malibu. So what happened was, apparently the principal kept in like 700 kids in the gym and didn't let them go home.
Because of the air quality, or
No, because like since Pepperdine's on a hill, there's so much traffic trying to get up and get back down that if you even left, you could get trapped in traffic and then burn. Like even on campus, there were burned cars there.
oh my
Whoa.
god, that
So
sounds really dangerous.
It was safer to just keep them in the gym.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like for the people who didn't have cars and couldn't leave on their own, they had to stay.
Yeah, but this is the worst fire in California history, and of course my thoughts go out to the victims. And
And it happened in like what, November? Like it's
Yeah.
like winter season. Like
and there's still people being affected by it.
I mean,
so.
yeah, climate change is a real thing. So that, like in the future, you know, we could all become climate people.
Yeah.
yeah.
Internship ideas.
But it's my thoughts go out to all the victims and the people still suffering, and hopefully they can get back on their feet soon.
Yeah. Moving on, since Thanksgiving was very recent last week, there was also Black Friday shopping.
Black Friday, that's right.
And every year, Black Friday is always like the big deal because there are videos online of people just like trampling over each other for like TVs or like pots or something. But like now, like online shopping is like where most people get their products and stuff. So, in the case of Black Friday, is it really worth going to stores anymore? Like getting over like fights and stuff for this stuff, or
Well, have you guys seen that one meme on Instagram where it's like Black Friday in Canada versus USA, and then like in Canada they're just like walking single file line,
like
and
the
they're, like,
influencers are clapping and
Yeah.
everything.
and everyone's smiling, but then it shows USA,
And people are just like punching
It
each
looks
other.
like a zombie
beating each other
apocalypse,
up.
dude.
yeah. So
Honestly, for me, it's not worth it anymore, man. For me on Black Friday, I
Yeah.
bought a speaker, like a Bluetooth speaker,
Mhm.
and I actually went to Best Buy first, like on Black Friday. And the line for the register, not going into the store, but for the register was like around the store.
oh god.
And I was just trying to buy one speaker. And so I looked online, same price, free shipping, and I was like,
Just buy that.
yeah, just buy it online. Like what's worth?
We were up in Bryan in the mountains, and like there's nothing around us except for the ski resort. My mom ordered like a TV. And I was
Like from her phone or something?
yeah, from her phone on Black Friday price. Wait, why are people getting in fights anymore? Like, why are they
Yeah.
still doing that?
Yeah, well, I feel like for Black Friday, like going to the actual store is not really. It's kind of redundant for like if you're buying like electronics and stuff. But what if you're like shopping for clothes?
For clothes, yeah.
I
that
feel
makes
like
sense.
for me, like I get a lot of my clothes from Black Friday because it's really cheap and you can try it on, and you can like go to different stores in that mall and stuff. So I feel like Black Friday is good for
There are gives and
shopping.
takes.
I did Black Friday shopping for clothes too, but I shopped online because for me it's like you buy clothes and if it doesn't fit you can return them.
Yeah, but you don't know, like, but it's such a hassle. You have to get it, and if it doesn't fit, then you have to like go, return it to the actual store.
That's true, but it just creates so much of a convenience that I don't really like. For me personally, I don't see a point in going physically anymore.
Like for me, I would go Black Friday shopping. It seems really fun. Like I went once, but then I feel like the turkey. You know how they have that thing, right? What's it called? The something, the chemical in there. You don't know?
There's a chemical in turkey.
That one chemical in turkey, it makes you really tired. So I think
Oh.
that's the reason why. Like I wanted to go, but I get really tired. So staying home, online shopping is so much easier.
But like,
Yeah.
isn't it weird how we celebrate this like feast of a holiday and we're giving and sharing our thanks, and then like in a couple hours people are like brawling for like a new TV or something?
That is called a juxtaposition, my sir. You give thanks, and after you give thanks, that's it. You go back. You go back to being violent.
It's so stupid, but it makes for funny videos I see online.
Yeah, but for me, I don't think at least like physically, Black Friday's
The
worth it.
sales are pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like,
And then there's Cyber Monday, like a couple days after.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just think it's not worth it getting into like lines and brawls for all that stuff when you can do it online. And later.
And it's like free shipping, you know.
Yeah.
And a couple business days. It's not even that bad.
Oh, by the way, the chemical is called tryptophan.
Tryptophan.
Yeah.
To all y'all bio people.
Yeah.
Food comas.
So turkey is chemically designed to make you sleepy. Yeah, but let's move on to another topic.
Over.
Yeah, let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about movies, dude.
Movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about movies.
I just saw the trailer for Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4.
It's coming out next year, and like there would have been 3 of them. Why didn't they just leave it at 3? I don't get it.
Well, I don't know. It looks pretty
Okay,
fun.
Toy
if you
Story
ask
is
me.
okay. Come on, it's Toy Story.
It's
the
been
fourth
in
one, like
it's been in franchise.
Yeah, and like
the
if
3
you
were
go
so
on,
good, we need a 4th one.
if you
But
go on IMDb, you can read that the plot is when a new toy called Forky joins Woody in the game. A road trip alongside old and new friends reveals how big the world can be for a toy.
Yeah. But it's because actually Toy Story 4 has a different director than
Oh, really?
Yeah, than all the previous Toy Stories.
Oh.
So a lot of people are like, a little
Kind of skeptical.
But there are a lot of arguments now being made that like Pixar, which was apparently like the last good like movie production company, is becoming like enfranchised.
Oh.
They're just using like the popularity of their series to make profit.
That's totally true because like they have Cars 3, Incredibles 2, and Finding Dory. All these movies came out like as sequels to the great movies we thought of in like the early 2000s and 90s. But like now we just those movies don't compare, and they were just I feel like they were just doing it in an effort to make just a lot of money.
Yeah, like for the first Incredibles, I felt like for that time period, it was a really like well-made movie.
Yeah.
And, like I still watch it to this day, like in the car or whatever, when we go on road trips.
Yeah,
and,
but then again, we've had so many ideas made into movies now that it's becoming harder for us to make originals or for people to make original content.
They just don't know. It's like because I really want to watch the movie for the value of the series, but they keep extending it, and they don't know when it ended when it should be ended. Like Star Wars, for example, like they're adding all these new movies this like past couple years, and I just don't like them.
I think they should come up with new ideas.
Yeah,
but that is hard. Coming up with original.
I mean,
yeah,
this
it's expensive, but when you've been doing like a bunch of sequels for like a lot of like, it just gets old.
I mean, in this generation, we have the MCU. It's like one of the greatest movie universes ever, and
they're basically all sequels off of each other.
So
wait, what's the MCU?
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Wait, I just looked this up. Incredibles 2, they broke like box office records. Like they made $504.32 million.
Yeah, because people
in
went
24
to the movies
days.
after watching Incredibles 1 like 15 years ago, thinking it's
so,
gonna be a great movie.
Like that's the same thing with Lion King. Have you seen the trailer?
There's a live action Lion King. So
Yeah,
I think a lot of problems like that are being faced by these like Pixar like companies like Pixar and stuff is that they're using the power of nostalgia to appeal to a larger audience.
Yeah, but then when you watch the actual movie, it's like
it's not very good.
You expect like so much more because like
it doesn't match your expectations.
They're just copying the
Nemo.
movie, but in real life. They're not adding on anything.
Like if they actually do Lion King well, I think they'll make the most money than any other movie. Like honestly,
yeah, it's that
like the
nostalgia
biggest
factor.
no, like Incredibles 2 took like over a decade, and honestly, it was overrated in my.
It wasn't
opinion.
it wasn't good.
It wasn't as good as the first.
but Lion King, that's like a original.
Yeah.
I hope it.
So the future's
But if
definitely
it's bad,
bright.
then I
More
don't know,
dual.
probably won't do as well.
But let's move on from Toy Story 4 and movies, like movie news in general, and talk about a little bit about some video games, or a video game, I should say.
So there's this video game that came out about a month ago called Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of buzz going around, and especially because of the wanted system in the game. It's a free open world game that you interact with, and if you commit like a crime, it takes place in the Old West.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in 1899, and you play as like a member of this like Old West gang, as that kind of Old West type of lifestyle is going out of genre. But it's made by a company called Rockstar, who has a reputation of making these large open world games, which basically mean that you're free to roam and not follow a linear story pattern, but you're allowed to do basically whatever you want.
Yeah.
And Rockstar's been good at making a lot of good games in the past. Like if you guys are familiar, they made a Grand Theft Auto 1 through 5. They were also responsible for the first Red Dead Redemption, and they have a lot of other titles in the works right now. But the honor system is very interesting because because it'll lead to different endings if you're a good or bad person.
If you're committing crimes in the game or not.
Yeah, it'll lead to a different ending for your character.
It's definitely making games like this like more like
Immersive.
it's like more reliable, like, or not
Interactive.
it's like more of an accurate representation of your life, because like I don't know,
Yeah,
when I play like Call of Duty, I just go around, like I play recklessly, but like
it actually makes you think about your actions.
And so like if you're doing stuff that's like eventually gonna have like an effect, like a negative effect later, then like it makes you rethink, like, should I do it or should I not?
Yeah, so there's that element of choice.
And overall, like, this game like Red Dead Redemption 2 is more story driven and a lot of people like that, but there's games like Fortnite out there, that are just multiplayer battle royale games, like 100 people come together and play a game, like,
and there's really no story.
And there's no story, but
yeah.
I think the idea of that people play together in that big of an arena, it's just appealing to them because there are like millions of players playing worldwide.
Yeah, but that brings up the debate of like story driven single player games versus multiplayer driven multiplayer games, and it's become such a divide, and it's creating like a lot of like division among people who
like
play video games.
Justin, you play Fortnite a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like what's so appealing about like this multiplayer game that has no story that you like to play with? Like,
so basically in Fortnite, if you don't know, you're like with 100 people or 99 other people, and you drop down into an island with like resources, materials, guns, and whatever, and you have to be the last one standing. It's basically Hunger Games, but so basically, I don't know, I find this game fun because it's like you want to be like the last person alive, and I think that's just like a challenge, because especially when you're with other people who are like good and you guys are all fighting it out on limited resources and stuff. I just find that pretty fun.
Like, you want to win.
Yeah,
you want to be the
of course. I want to get that victory royale.
You want to get the victory royale. But yeah, that creates a division.
Either way, I think both types of games are great, and
But so moving aside from entertainment, we've talked about movies and we've talked about video games.
And
let's talk about some Troy things that's happening specifically for us, junior internships.
So now that breaks over, or job shadows are for Troy, internships are due, where we have to like go for like an hour to a place we choose.
It's only an hour?
I think it's only an hour, or like very little time that you can go and like look at observe a place that you think might be worthy of you wanting to do an internship there.
Yeah.
And like, do you have any job shadow days scheduled?
I don't have any schedule, but I do have an idea of what I want to intern at. Like, I've kind of narrowed it down.
And what would that be, sir?
I want to try maybe interning at maybe a media conglomerate, or some place where they have like either film production or they work in television, movies, things like that.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like, I kind of just want that intern experience. I've never worked before. I've never had a part-time job, so I literally have zero experience in any field. But I think.
So how are you gonna get to that media place? Like,
I don't.
How are you gonna contact?
You have to call them or email them, and you send them your resume, and if they contact you back, then I think it goes from there. But I just like to take a step back and just realize how beneficial like of an opportunity this is that Troy gives us, that like every other high school doesn't have. Like, you never hear a high schooler doing an internship at this point in their life already.
Well, I've heard of people doing internships, but I haven't heard of like school
a program that actually does that. I think that's amazing. Like,
it's a really good thing about our school.
It gives us like an opportunity and experience that a lot of other high schoolers don't have, and it gives us
they help us.
Yeah, but even if you're not in the Troy Tech program, you can still send out your resumes and call out and reach out to people. Like, it's not exclusive to Troy Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a lot of teachers have been telling like the class, like when they talk to like people at colleges who do like the
Scouting,
accepting like people, like they say that like Troy, like kids really stand out because of this internship.
It's so unique. For me at least, I haven't seen any kind of similar program at any other high school.
Yeah, and especially if you line it up with like your college major, you're gonna have like such a good like resume for like an actual job.
Yeah. So I am thankful for Troy giving us this opportunity and helping us out along the way.
And in the case that like you don't intern at the place that you really wanted to, or you don't end up like if you don't end up there, I think just it kind of drives you towards the right path. Like, oh, this is not what I want to do, but I think there's a silver lining in the fact that you start to like realize other things that are possibilities for you that you think you'd be passionate of doing.
Yeah, it's a win-win. You get experience, you understand, or you narrow down your career choices. Thank you, Troy.
Like, I mean, it's tedious and it's like it can be, you know.
But overall, it's beneficial.
Yeah, exactly.
I've talked to some seniors and they've told me their Troy Tech internship like it was actually super beneficial and they loved it. So if you go into thinking that, then when you prep for it like you want to actually spend time here and make it feel like actual experience. So don't think it's just something tedious and something you have to do as an assignment, but actually go into and expecting something out of it.
Yeah.
So those are the internships. I hope send in your submissions early because you don't want to do it at the last minute. It's kind of stressful. But in a more short-term goal, we have finals coming up in a couple weeks, and after that 2-week Christmas break, which will be pretty nice.
Second semester.
So make sure to study up like now and soon because you don't want to cram in before finals.
Get ready, especially if there are any freshmen listening to this. Man, when I was a freshman, I didn't know what a final was, not really, and so I didn't know. No, like I knew what it was, but I never had experience with something like a
and
final.
like some classes it's insanely weighted.
And so like as an experienced high school student, I'm just telling anyone who doesn't really understand the concept of a final, dude, start now.
Like, and I also want to add, like, don't give up. Even if you feel like your grade isn't like possible to get that borderline, like even if you're not borderline, you're at like an 88 or 87 or something, you think you can't get the A, like anything can happen. You don't know how much the teacher might curve it or like how much they can round, because sometimes even like on an AP test they might say at the end of the year, oh, if you get a 5 then I'll round your B plus to an A. So don't ever give up. Don't think, oh, it's not even worth my time studying. I have other stuff to think about. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, and another thing is, if you guys are worried about grades, or if you guys are worried about getting that A, or you know, things like that, you can always talk to your teacher about opportunities, either extra credit or like what you should do to get your grades up, because your teachers are people, you know.
But you shouldn't be like messing around and not doing your homework and slacking off. You should be working hard, but in the case that it doesn't end up that way, then I think if your teacher knows how hard you're working, you can really talk to them. But you know, if you haven't been working hard that year, don't think you can come at the end of the year and talk to your teacher and act like you've been carrying the whole year. But you should be on the grind from the beginning.
Well, going back to Riley's point, I have a question for you. What if you have multiple classes that are borderline, and then let's say you have like some classes that are just like mid B, you cannot get an A.
So
do you still try on the B's?
That's a very specific situation, sir. I wonder where you got the inspiration.
I wonder where you got
for
that, dude.
Well, it actually applied to me. So in freshman year, like bio, I screwed up. I did not study, and I realized it's too late for my grades. So I just devoted all my resources to other classes, which were kind of borderline, like 90, 91.
And did it work out?
It worked out. Like I did well on those finals. You know, I did bad on bio because I didn't study, but I still ended with a B.
Bio. I mean, yeah, there's some prioritizing you should always do, but I mean, if you plan ahead, just try to make it work out. But in your case, I guess prioritizing probably the best thing you could have done.
But so just get ready for that.
So we're wrapping up around now. This podcast, it's been great doing it, and a lot of people come to me and they say how much they enjoyed it, and I'm really grateful for that. That makes me want to work harder.
Thank you for everyone listening.
Yeah, it's great. It's only been we only one episode in and we're loving it.
Yeah.
But we're actually looking for some guest speakers that would like to be on the podcast for some dissenting viewpoints, you know, points of contention.
Or if guest speakers want to talk about anything specific like that they would like to share, we're kind of focused on like bringing a guest speaker in as a segment of our podcast, and talking about something specific.
Yeah, and like don't be afraid to like step up and volunteer, because we're looking. Our club is founded on the principle that like we should all have like the opportunity to go and express our beliefs like without being like, you know, like shot down or anything. So like if you want to come, if you like disagree, like you can come on and just say it. You know?
And like listen, we're like 4 Asian teenage boys. We're not like conglomerate businessmen. We're sitting in like half a classroom trying to record this with 4 laptops. We're not. You shouldn't be scared because like you think this is it's so professional. It's really not. Yeah. But I think that's what makes it charming.
So you get to know where to contact us. You can email us at troyhighmedia Troy High Media.
Whoa, no, it's
Troy-
Troy Media Club at
Troy
gmail.com.
Troy
Troy
Media-
Media Club at gmail.com.
You can find our Instagram too. Same at, and also Facebook group. Join that too.
Troy Media Club on Instagram. Just that. No caps, no space. All right.
And of course, as always, thank you guys for listening. Honestly, I feel like it's such a weird thing to say thank you to people who are like listening to the podcast, but yeah, really, thank you.
So, please contact us. We'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, and we'd like to just branch out and make this podcast
Yeah,
something
we're
bigger.
soon gonna have some teachers on here, so
Yo,
be
yeah,
ready
if you're,
for that.
if you're a teacher or an adult or anything, we're open to any kind of guest speaker. So
Of course.
don't think that you're limited because you're not a student. If teachers have something they want to talk about or anything, contact us at troymediaclub@gmail.com.
Okay.
So that wraps up our second
today.
period.
Episode 2.
Episode
Second,
two.
Break it
second,
down.
second
Period.
episode.
But thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Build you up, then I take you down. Don't you love when I come around? Build you up, then I take you down. Don't you love when I come around? Build you up, then I take. Ooh, who could have thought I'd get you? Who would have thought I'd get you? Oh, ooh, who would have thought I'd get you? This feels like so